Rift Valley. What they are asking? Diastrophism. So Rift Valley means they are created with the fault. Can I say this is the example of diastrophism process? Rift Valley creation, block mountain creation, this is the part of the faulting, and this is also the part of diastrophism. Weathering, answer is no, because weathering is in the exogenetic side and not in diastrophic process. So weathering of rock, no. Erosion, of course, no. Occurrence of landslide. Now see here, landslide is mass movement. Okay, so because of this, it is classified under the mass movement. So mass movement is not the part of diastrophism, rather it is the part of the other side. Therefore, this is also not the answer. So how many statement I think it is asking correct they are? So the one statement is the correct. The one is formation of rift valleys. So only one statement is true. Next question is, yes, it is about distribution of atmospheric pressure across hemisphere. Consider the following statement. In the northern hemisphere, pressure belt shift northward during summer and southward during winter. That is true. Now, for example, you may have seen this. You can understand with the example of, let's say, India's monsoon. You may have seen, let's say, this is somewhat equator, geographical equator. So what happens in the June? You may be familiar with this phenomena. This ITCZ, that is the monsoonal trough, will shift over the plains of India, and therefore what happens is monsoon, that is nothing but modified trade winds, are attracted to India. This is somewhat I'm telling you about June and July, right? In June, it will be exactly over this plains of India. Now, what will happen after June, when the summer solstice is gone? The sun will go, means apparently it will go in the southern hemisphere. So therefore, what will happen? Because sun was here somewhat, the ITCZ shifted here. Now the sun is moving towards the another hemisphere. This is apparent movement of the sun. It seems like sun is moving, but it is not the sun which is moving. It is the earth which is revolving around the sun, and hence I'm using the term apparent movement of the sun. Now, when the sun is going into the southern hemisphere, what happens is this ITCZ will also shift in the southern world. So this is true. In the northern hemisphere, the pressure belt will shift during the northern summer. In which side? In the northward side, and southward side in the winter. That is true. What is the second statement that says in the southern hemisphere, high pressure system develop over landmass in January? Now, when we take, let's say, southern hemisphere, just consider January is their summer month. It is not winters for them. It is winters for us. In which, in the northern hemisphere, now what will happen after June, when the summer solstice is gone? The sun will go, means apparently it will go in the southern hemisphere. So therefore, what will happen? Because sun was here somewhat, the ITCZ shifted here. Now the sun is moving towards the another hemisphere. This is apparent movement of the sun. It seems like sun is moving, but it is not the sun which is moving. It is the earth which is revolving around the sun, and hence I'm using the term apparent movement of the sun. Now, when the sun is going into the southern hemisphere, what happens is this ITCZ will also shift in the southern world. So this is true. In the northern hemisphere, the pressure belt will shift during the northern summer. In which side? In the northward side, and southward side in the winter. That is true. What is the second statement that says in the southern hemisphere, high pressure system develop over landmass in January? Now, when we take, let's say, southern hemisphere, just consider January is their summer month. It is not winters for them. It is winters for us. So if it is the summer in your land, for example, you can consider the example of India. Let's say if it was the summer, June here, over India's landmass, what type of pressure we do have? We had low pressure. So in summers, because of increasing temperature on the land, low pressure systems will be built up. What he is saying in this statement, that in the summer of southern hemisphere, high pressure system will develop over the landmass. It is incorrect. In summers, low pressure systems will build up. So what you have to be very careful with, just consider this is southern hemisphere summer. Okay? Don't be confused with this January month. Otherwise, what you will understand, this January is winter, and winter means high anticyclone or high pressure systems can be there over the land. It is incorrect. So second statement is not true. In both hemisphere, the equatorial region is characterized by doldrum. Yes. So what is doldrum? I'm erasing this one. Now see here. What is doldrum? Doldrum is nothing but the calm zone in between the trade winds, right? So for example, if this is the equator, what happens is the trade winds will come from subtropical high pressure belt from both the side. Now what happens is when the winds are coming, why the winds are coming? Because equator is characterized by high temperature throughout the year. Because of that, the low pressure conditions will be built up here. When the winds are traveling towards this low pressure, the moment they reach towards the center, means they are not reaching exactly in the center. Towards the center, when they were reaching, they have gained enough temperature, and therefore they have warmed up. Because of this warming, they became lighter, and hence they are rising. So they could not reach into the center. Why? Because center is too hot for this winds to reach inside. So what happens is before reaching to the center, they converged, and this region is therefore characterized with absence of this type of vertical winds. This region is practically known as doldrum or the calm zone. Okay, so what the statement is saying? In both the hemisphere, equatorial region is characterized by doldrum. Yes. A persistent low pressure belt with calm winds. Yes. And intense convection. You can see this is the convectional process. Yes. So third is true. So how many statements are true? Second is not true. So 1 and 3 are the correct answer. You can see here 1 and 3 are the correct answers, right? Next is, which of the following countries which of the following country is currently the largest producer, consumer, and importer of the pulses of world? Yes, it is India. Recently, FAO published one, let's say, study or the data in which they said that India is producing around 25% of world's pulses. However, we need 27% of the pulses, so we are importing. So we are the highest in terms of production. Also, we are the highest in terms of consumption. So answer is India. Next is, which of the is Indian? Also, we are the highest in terms of consumption. So answer is India. Next is, which of the following are the tributaries of Yamuna? Which tributary they are asking? They are asking right bank tributaries. So if you will see the Yamuna here, I think the answer is yes. This is D. So Chambal, Sindh, Betwa, and Kain. Exactly, this is the sequence. Betwa and Kain. These are the right bank. You will consider this is the direction of the river Yamuna. So Ramunas, these are the right bank rivers of Yamuna. Simple it is. Chambal, Sindh, Betwa, and Kain. Next is laterite soil are suitable for growing plantation crop. It is true. Why? What is laterite soil? First, understand laterite is the soil which is known for, let's say, the regions where intense rainfalls are seen. Let's say equatorial regions, or in fact, you can consider, let's say, this area of Western Ghat, the western part of Western Ghat. Because of high rainfall here, what happens is there is intense leaching of the soil is caused. And what happens in this, let's say, with very high rainfall, all the minerals which are soluble in the water, they will be dissolved with the runoff of the water. Now the soil will not have much of the nutrients because they all were soluble and therefore they were dissolved. Hence the soil will be left with only some aluminium and ferrous content. Because of the ferrous, what happens is it will have also reddish color. This type of soil with this, let's say, aluminium and ferrous, this is known as laterite soil. Often you will see in the equatorial region also the same type of soil is found. Why? Because of the heavy rainfall. Also, the other thing that you will see in the equatorial region, you will not find this soil is not having much of the nutrient except aluminium and ferrous. The second thing is because of, let's say, high temperature and moisture in such regions of equator, often humus content is also not found in the soil. Why? Because of microbacterial activity is very, very faster there. Because of this microbes, decomposition rate is faster. Why the decomposition is faster? Because of too high temperature and too high rainfall. So what happens is because of all these factors, often these soils, most of the time, they do not have much nutrients except aluminium and ferrous. These soils are known as laterite soil. Laterite soil, practically, this word means brick soil. You can use the soil in brick making. Why? Because there are no much nutrients left in the soil. So this soil, however, can be used for plantation if you will add some fertilizers in the soil. Okay. So if the fertilizers are added, this soil will be best suitable for the plantation crop. For example, you can see here what Goa is famous for cashew plantation. What Karnataka is famous for coffee plantation. What this Kerala is famous for, rubber plantation, tea plantation, coffee plantation. So plantation, why? Because of laterite soil. And one more thing that you have to remember, coffee crop will be promoted, will be, let's say, benefited if there is iron content in the soil. So you can see here in the laterite, because of the iron is present, hence it is suitable for the coffee cultivation. So what is the statement? See there, laterite soil are suitable for growing the coffee crop. Yes, it is true. The next is the laterite soil are rich in organic matter. I already told you it is incorrect. Okay, it is not rich in organic matter. So what is the option we are left with? The option is 1 is correct, but statement 2 is incorrect. option is 1 is correct, but statement 2 is incorrect. Next is consider the following countries: Djibouti, Ethiopia, Yemen, South Sudan, and Eritrea. How many of the countries are sharing the border with the Red Sea? If you see South Sudan, it is far away located. This cannot be the answer. Then Yemen, yes, it shares. Eritrea, yes, it shares. Ethiopia, no. Instead of Ethiopia, it is Egypt. Okay, so what are the, let's say this is the Red Sea. Red Sea. You will see here Djibouti is there, then Eritrea is there, then Sudan is there, but not South Sudan. Then Egypt, Israel, Jordan, Saudi Arabia, then Yemen also. So you can eliminate from here. Ethiopia, no. Then South Sudan, no. How many we are left with? 3 options are there. Okay, so only 3 are the correct. Then next question is this is again with some, let's say, mapping practice. Next question is only 3 are the correct with 3 options are there. Okay. Okay. You will see here Djibouti, Sudan, and Eritrea. How many of the countries are sharing the border with the Red Sea? If you see South so only 3 are the correct. Then next question is this is again with some, let's say, mapping practice, or we can say it is also related more or less with the map. Gandhi Sagar, it is on Chambal, but not in Rajasthan. It is in MP, so this is incorrect. Sri Sailam was also in news. You may be familiar if you are going through this PYQs. Sri Sailam Tiger Reserve. It was asked in 2023 because of its largest core area. It was located in Andhra Pradesh. So Sri Sailam, it is on Krishna, but not in Tamil Nadu. It is in Andhra Pradesh, so it is incorrect. Nathpa Jakri, it is on Satluj, yes, and it is in Himachal Pradesh. Fine. Kopili, it is not on Barak River. It is the Kopili, which is the tributary of Brahmaputra, and this is the tributary which is in the Assam, so it's not Manipur. It is incorrect. So only we are having one correct option, that is Nathpa Jakri. 3 is the correct one. So only one statement is true. With reference to global distribution of wind system, consider the following. The local winds, they are important. Chinook wind. So here they are the Rockies. Chinook will come from here. They will ascend, will create rainfall in this. Let's say this is the western side of Rockies. This is Rocky, and here it is the eastern side of the Rocky. Now in the eastern side, what happens is they will gain the temperature. Why? Because whenever the winds come down, they will be adiabatically, they will become warmer. Because of this gaining temperature, what happens is in this rain shadow area, the ice or the snow will melt here. Therefore, it is also known as snow eater. Okay, so this is in the North America. Yes, it is hot and dry wind. This is true. Bora, it is not of South America. It is rather of the Europe, and it is the cold wind in the Europe. So this is not true. Sirocco is, let's say, if you see, this is the Africa. From this Africa, here it is the Sahara. From Sahara, this is nothing but a very hot and warm, hot and dry let's say winds will start and they will go over Mediterranean. While they are passing over Mediterranean, they will pick the moisture. And what happens is they will cause rainfall in the southern parts of Alps, especially in the Italy and France region. Now, because they are coming from Sahara, they have some red dust content. Red dust content with this rainfall gives the color of reddish in nature. This red color of rainfall is also known as blood rainfall. This local wind, which is hot and drier, coming from Sahara to the over Mediterranean region in the Europe, this is known as Sirocco. Okay, so what is this? Sirocco over Mediterranean region. Yes, it is true, but it is not cold. It is warm. Okay, it is coming from Sahara. It is hot. So this is also incorrect. This is incorrect. This was correct. Harmattan. Now see here. This is the equatorial region, characterized with low pressure and also characterized with very high amount of moisture. What happens is from Sahara's this high pressure, the winds will travel also towards this equatorial Guinea region. This is particularly coastal area. I'm talking about Guinea region. Now, because of excess of moisture, the conditions are very, let's say, injurious for the human health also here in this equatorial Guinea region, coastal area. Now, the dry and hot winds will start from Sahara. When they will reach into this low pressure equatorial Guinea, they will wipe out excessive moisture from the region. Okay, and therefore, lack of moisture, or let's say excess supply of moisture, if it is wiped out, now the conditions will become favorable for the human's existence. And this type of wind, which was starting from here, responsible for wiping out of this too much of moisture content, this is known as Harmattan, or it is also known as doctor wind. So it is starting from Sahara Desert, yes. Hot and dry wind, yes. So how many options are correct here? The two options are correct. So answer should be B. Yes, answer is B. Consider the following state. They are asking about Western dedicated freight corridor. How many states, let's say, are there in this part? So this is nothing but you can consider from Mumbai to Delhi, they are connected. So Maharashtra will come here, Gujarat will come here, Rajasthan will come here, then UP will also come here, Haryana will also come here. So Karnataka, no, Goa, no, just consider from Mumbai onwards. Hai na? Gujarat, yes, Haryana, yes. So two are the answer. It is about cold front. So what they are asking, which of the following statement is true about cold front? Now see here, what is cold front? See here, how the front will be decided whether this is the warm front or cold front. First thing is, what is front? Front is characterized by two C. One C stands for contrasting air masses, and the second is convergence. If the contrasting means one is warm, second is cold, if they are converging together, contrasting air masses and convergence, when they are converging together, this will form a front. So you will find this type of situation. Let's say this is equator here. You won't find the two contrasting air masses, therefore front will not develop here. In this region, you will find the contrasting air mass only in this region, from where the cold polarly is coming from the polar region, and the warm westerlies will come from STHP lower region. So this is the area where fronts will be formed. Now, what is cold front and what is warm front? When the two contrasting air masses are merging or interacting, the slopy area, it is known as the front. Now this, let's say, cold front will be formed when the cold air mass is more active and it is encroaching the territory of warm air mass. And when warm is active and it is entering into the territory of cold, then we will consider that as warm front. So what is this cold front? Now see here, the cold front, if I make, see here now. What are the features that you will see in the cold front? Now consider the warm is stationary. The warm air mass was here. This is the surface. In this superficial area, the warm air mass was resting. This is warm air mass. Now in this area, the cold air mass has entered. It is encroaching the territory of the warm air mass. Because it is encroaching the territory, it is entering, then we will call this as cold front. Okay. Now what will happen? Because cold air mass is heavier and denser, it will try to occupy the bottom. And in this bottom area, the warm air mass is resting. So what will happen now? This denser cold air mass will uplift this warmer air mass forcefully. Because of this forceful upliftment, what will happen? The warm air will be uplifted right vertical above in this manner. And this is how the warm air is uplifted above. Because of this rapid upliftment, the clouds are formed, the condensation will occur, and this condensation will result into the formation of cumulonimbus cloud. Remember one thing, whenever there is faster upliftment of the warm and moist air, it will result into vertical cooling, and vertical cooling will result often into cumulonimbus cloud formation. Now, what is the characteristics of the cold front? Now see here, number one, in case of cold front, cold is aggressive. Number two, this area that you can see in the black line, this is the interaction zone or the slope at which the two interactions are going on. One side we have the cold air mass, second side we have the warm air mass which is being uplifted. Now, in case of this cold front, what you will find, in case of cold front, cumulonimbus cloud will be formed, slope will be steep. Because of this cloud, you will find heavy rainfall, you will find hailstorm also, you will find lightning as well. Okay, so all these features will be associated with the cold front. Now see this statement, the cold front they are asking, in case of cold front, the front remains stationary, no. The cold air mass moves towards the warm air mass, it is the answer. The cold is moving towards the warm air mass, and then it is known as cold front. Okay. Now consider this statement. In this statement, it is given the crop is both tropical and subtropical in nature. Okay, both of the subtropical as well as in the tropics it can be grown. It requires a hot climatic condition in between 21 to 27 degrees C and annual rainfall of 75 to 100 centimeter. Yes. Then India is the second largest producer of this crop. By this third option, you can guess this one. Brazil is known for sugarcane cultivation, the first position, and India is at second position. So it is the sugarcane. In sugarcane, India is at the second position. For the sugarcane, these conditions are also required. Sugarcane is also the tropical and subtropical crop in nature. Okay. Then Next, consider the following mountain ranges. They are asking how many of them are full mountain. So see, already I mentioned the Vosges mountain, which was also asked in 2024. In PYQ, you will see Vosges, and there is one more mountain that is in the Europe, Black Forest mountain. They too are having the Rift Valley in between. This is Rhine Rift Valley. Rhine Rift Valley. In India, we have, this is the European block mountains. Hai na? Then in India, we have Satpura, we have Vindhyas. In Pakistan also, we have, let's say, the Salt Range. Okay, so it is easy. Andes and Himalayas are the example of fold mountains. Vosges and Satpura is the example of what? It is the example of flat mountains or the block mountains. So 1 and 2 are the correct answer if the fold mountains are considered. So 2 are the correct answer. The northern hemisphere receives the most indirect sunlight during summer solstice. It is incorrect. Why? See here. In case of summer solstice, let's say this is the Earth, and here it is the axis at which it is inclined. Now, what happens is, if I say this is the equator, and here, let's say this is the subtropic, here it is the Arctic Circle, in the same way. Now, see here, the sun is here. It is in this side. Now, the sun is vertically overhead to 23.5 north. In case of summer solstice, I'm talking about 21st June. Okay. Now see here, in this case, because Earth is tilted towards the sun, more sunlight is received by northern hemisphere. And you can see here easily half of the Earth, which is from here. This is the half. This half is facing the sunlight. The other half is the black one. If I consider this is the black one, means this is in the darker side. This area is not receiving direct sunlight, right? Now see here, this is the condition of 21st June or the summer solstice in northern hemisphere. Now what is the question? The question is saying, in the northern hemisphere, in case of summer solstice, more indirect sunlight. This is not indirect sunlight. You can see here, northern hemisphere is receiving more direct sunlight. Okay, because it is directly overhead to northern hemisphere, exactly over 23.5 north. Okay, so the first statement is not true. Second is saying the southern hemisphere receives the most indirect sunlight during the winter solstice. It is also incorrect. Okay, now see here. First, let me tell you about this one. Now see here some more things because it has been asked now about summer solstice. Here I'm telling you one last year one question was asked in the BYQ. Which of the following areas will receive more than 12 hours of sunlight? Now see here, in case of the summer solstice, what you will see from here, I'm changing the color. See here, this part of the equator, it is under the daytime. It is receiving the sunlight, and half of the part exactly is in the darker side. So in equator, 12 hours of day and 12 hours of night you can see. Okay, even in the summer solstice. In the second case, you can see half part of, let's say, half part of this 23 and third, it is here in the sunlight. So 12 hour, this much is in the 12 hour. Plus additionally, you can see because of the tilt here, more parts are receiving sunlight. Yes. So can I say in this entire area, it would be more than 12 hours of daytime would be here? Yes or no? Yes. Then you can see from in this 66 and half onwards, this is Arctic Circle. Beyond this Arctic Circle, you can see this entire area is under the sunlight. There is no concept of night here all the time, 24 hour. It is the sunlight can be found easily. So this is therefore known as the land of midnight sun. Land of midnight sun. So you can consider in case of summer solstice, from equator to north pole, the number of hours under the daytime will increase, and reverse will happen in case of southern hemisphere. From equator to northern side, if you will go, you will see the dark hours are increasing, the night hours are increasing, and day hours are reducing. So one very simple question was asked last year: which of the following areas will receive more than 12 hours sunlight in summer solstice? Answer was this one and this other areas. Equator will receive 12 hours, not more than 12 hours. So this was the simple question. Now see here, all the locations north of the equator have days longer than 12 hours during summer solstice. Is it true? All locations north to equator. Is it true? Answer is yes. Now you can see exactly here it is the 12 hour. Now if you will go over this, let's say equator to polar area, the day hours will increase. So this is also true. Third is true. Okay. Then yeah, the day hour. Now if you will go over this, let's say equator to polar area, the day hours will increase. So this is also true. Third is true. Okay. Then all locations south of the equator have days longer than 12 hours during winter solstice. It is now, see here, winter solstice. I will explain. Okay, see here, this is the summer solstice we have learned. Now let me make this winter solstice diagram. In case of winter solstice, see here now, when they are saying simple solstice, now consider that is for the northern hemisphere by default. If they are not mentioning, okay, then let's say this is the earth. Again, I'm making this is the earth, and here let's say this is tilted. This time the sum, it is, we are talking about winter solstice. Sun is here. In case of winter solstice, this is the equator. Now see here, the light is exactly dividing this area. Let's say from here now, yes, the darker area is this one. This is the dark side, है ना? And the other area that you can see here, now see here, the sun is exactly over this time. It is over 23 and half south side, and therefore it is winter for which hemisphere? For the northern hemisphere. So this is winter solstice for the northern hemisphere. Now what you can see is, because of the tilt of the earth towards the sun this time, the southern hemisphere is receiving more sunlight, and hence it is summer for the southern hemisphere. And because we are tilting away from this sun, hence it is the summer for northern hemisphere. Now what will happen? See here, it is now in this case, you will see one thing, that is from equator. Just see here, the half part of equator, if I change the color, the half part of the equator is under the dark hour, so 12 hour of night, and half part is in the light, so 12 hour of day. Now what will happen? You will see the more parts are receiving, let's say, the sunlight. So 12-hour plus here, and 24-hour plus would be the day hours. So this time from equator to south pole, if you will go, day hours will increase. Okay, so now see here, all locations south of the equator have days longer than 12 hours during winter solstice. Is it true? Answer is yes. You can see here, this is the winter solstice. The day hours are increasing. So third and fourth statements are true. 1 and 2 are not. Answer should be, answer is yes, 3 and 4 are the correct option. This area is very important. The questions are being asked in the prelims multiple times in last 5 years. Twice the question has been asked from this area. Okay, rotation and revolution of the earth. Now, Panama Canal is often seen in news. It connects, it's simple. You can see Gulf of Panama and Caribbean Sea, they are connected by this Panama Canal. Okay, mapping based. So Now see here, the increase. Geography, we are finished here. Just give me a minute. Give me a minute. So geography, we are finished here. Just give me a minute. एक पार्ट हुआ है, थोड़े से बचे हैं. कितने बचे हैं? थोड़े बहुत. एक आधा एक सब्जेक्ट हो गया. हाँ. करें. So geography questions we have discussed, है ना? Now we are starting the environment question. So let's start with the first question. The first question is about Atmanirbhar Clean Plant Program. It was recently in news. So this program actually it was launched in 2014 and 15, and it is being implemented by National Horticulture Board along with ICAR. Now, what is the primary aim of this initiative? The primary aim is to, let's say, ensure the availability of high quality, virus-free planting material for the horticultural crop. That is the aim, है ना? So this is about the Atmanirbhar Clean Plant Program. Again, I'm saying it was launched in 2014 and 15. It is being implemented by National Horticulture Board in association with ICAR, Indian Council of Agricultural Research. The main aim is to ensure the availability of planting material which is virus-free for the horticulture crop. Okay. Next is about CBAM, Carbon Border Adjustment Mechanism. Very important this initiative is. Now, what is the idea? Let me tell you. This is the Europe here. So this program, that is CBAM, is nothing but a kind of carbon border adjustment mechanism. Now, there is a program in Europe that is Fit for 55 package, है ना? In which what they are doing, the Europe is, let's say, pulling their companies or directing its companies or the various sector which are carbon intensive sector to switch to cleaner technologies, or we can say to reduce the greenhouse gas emissions. Now, if they will reduce the greenhouse gas emissions or invest in technologies that is clean technologies, their cost of production will increase. Yes or no? Yes. For example, if it is the steel company, now because the steel company is investing in technology in the Europe, their cost of production will increase. Whereas the countries like India and China, where the environment regulation are not much stringent, there the steel production can use the thermal, let's say, energy. है ना? Now, what happens is the steel production in case of India, in case of China, may not be energy efficient process. Means more carbon emissions can be there by this steel production in India compared to the steel production in Europe. So now, what the Europe is saying that I will put some taxes on this carbon intensive sectors or the goods which are coming into Europe. Why? Because I want to create a level playing field in between our companies and the other companies. Their steel should not be cheaper. Otherwise, my companies will suffer. So it is a kind of tariff which will be imposed on the goods coming from the countries where the environmental regulations are not much stringent. Okay. However, it is being criticized by the developing countries as a kind of non-tariff barrier. Okay. But Europe is saying that I am fixing the carbon leakage. What is carbon leakage? And creating the level playing field for my companies. What is carbon leakage? For example, this is company A, which was producing 100 ton of steel in Europe. Now, under the stringent mechanism Fit for 55 program, let's say, they are supposed to invest in cleaner technologies. What they can do otherwise, they can shift their manufacture base into the countries like India and China, and then they can also send their steel to other route into Europe, okay, without following this stringent mechanism. So in that way, Europe is saying the carbon emissions here, they can be transferred in some other country, and this is nothing but leakage of the carbon. So Europe is saying I am creating level playing field as well as I am fixing this type of carbon leakages. If some company will go into India and China, then I will put some tariff and, let's say, taxes, so that the goods which are produced with lack of energy efficient technologies, they, if they are entering into Europe, they should be paid, let's say they should pay some of the tariff, right? So this is CBAM mechanism. Highly it is being criticized. One-sided measure it is taken, let's say, unilaterally by the Europe itself. It is also shifting the burden of developed countries. Developed countries were historically responsible for the climate change. Now it is their duty under Article 9 of Paris Agreement. They are, let's say, under the obligation to provide financial support as well as technical support to the developing countries. But now the onus has been shifted with this Europe's move of CBAM. The onus of clean technologies, invest in clean technologies, has been shifted now on the burden of India, China, and other developing countries, which are already struggling with lack of resources, right? So this is how it is being criticized. What this is saying, now read the statement. It is a policy tool introduced by European Union, yes, to ensure that imported goods face the same carbon cost as domestically. Yes, this is true. The main goal of CBAM is to prevent deforestation. It is not the main aim. What is the main aim? To create the level playing field. Hai na? So this is not true. Answer is, what should be the answer? One is true, second is not. So answer is simple. Answer is, what should be the answer? One is true, second is not. So answer is simple. Phytoplanktons are, second is not. So answer is simple. Phytoplanktons are microscopic organisms that drift in aquatic environment, hai na? Environment, and are classified into phytoplankton and zooplankton. Okay. In this context, which of the following organism is an example of zooplankton? Zooplankton you are supposed to identify. See here, Anabina. It is a phytoplankton, not the zooplankton. So this is phytoplankton. It is not true therefore. Rotifers, I will come to this one. This chlorella, this is also a phytoplankton. Coccolithophore, this is also a phytoplankton. One more that you can remember. Phytoplanktons are also known, let's say, diatoms. Then flagellates, flagellates, these all are the phytoplankton. So here the clear answer is rotifers. Rotifers are the example of zooplankton. Some more zooplanktons if you want to write. These all, let's say, Anabina, chlorella, coccolithophore, diatom, flagellates, they all are the example of phytoplankton. Whereas if I give you some examples of, let's say, Zooplankton. So in the zooplankton, you can have, for example, the one itself is rotifier. Then you can have crustaceans, है ना? Then starfish, zooplankton itself, roti first, right? These are the names which are, and yes, protozoa also, protozoa. These all are the example of zooplankton. So answer here it is rotifers. Some more answers are also given in your paper. You can see the examples of zooplanktons more. Teal carbon. Some terms were, let's say, in the newspaper. One term is teal carbon. What is teal carbon? When the carbon is stored in the wetland, wetlands are known as the best carbon sinks. Yes, now with having, let's say, very less global area under the wetlands, around 6.5% of the area, they are, let's say, responsible for absorption of around 14.5% of soil carbon. Okay, they are very efficient carbon sink. Now, see here, the carbon when it is stored in non-tidal freshwater wetland, then this teal carbon is used if the carbon is stored in non-tidal freshwater wetlands. Okay. Then what is greenium? Greenium is green premium. Now, what is green premium? For example, you have one bond. Okay, this is A bond. Now, if the A bond, if you are purchasing, let's say this is the buyer. If the A bond is purchased by this buyer, the premium of bond, let's say it was 100 rupee, and after the realization, let's say it gives 108 rupees to the buyer. This is one bond. There is another bond that is B, which is a green bond. Green bond, let's say it is of the value of 100, and when it will be realized after certain years, it will give only the amount of 103 rupees. This is hypothetical example. Now, what happens is let's say the amount has been saved on this green bond, or we can say the buyer will get some less amount after investing in the green bond. Why? Because green bonds are investing in the green infrastructure or in the green projects. So in a way, you can consider let's say the buyer is considering to invest in such green infrastructure. Okay, it can be, let's say, sustainable investment by this buyer. So this term, which is known as green premium, okay, in which the issuer, that is the issuer of the green bond, is saving some money. So this is also correct, means the saving which is an issuer having on the green bonds, right? So this is known as green premium or greenium. What is carbon farming? When the carbon is used as a, let's say, fertilizer. In case of plants growth, the two necessary things are required. One is, let's say, the sunlight. The second is CO2 also. So with the sunlight and CO2, what will happen? The photosynthesis will occur. Then this is very crucial for the plant's growth, photosynthesis, yes. Now, if you have more carbon in your soil which is carbon rich, it will help the fertility in that area. So this concept where the carbon is used as a fertilizer and it is promoting the growth of the crop, this is known as carbon fertilization. And the concept, if it is used in the farming, the same concept of fertilization, carbon fertilization, then it is known as carbon farming. So for example, if I tell you, let's say this is the example I'm giving you. For example, what happens is this is the soil. If I'm spraying some carbon, let's say that I have collected from carbon sequestration. So if the soil let's say if the carbon is sprayed in the soil, what will happen? The carbon content will increase. This will promote the growth of plants here, and this growth, when it is supported, this concept is known as carbon fertilization, and this farming practice is known as carbon farming. So all three are correct. Yes. National park sanctuaries with unique fauna species. Great Himalayan National Park, it is in Himachal Pradesh, hai na? And Hangul is, by name itself, you can see it is Kashmiri snake. Earlier it was found, it is critically endangered, the first thing that you should know. Hai na? Earlier it was also found in nearby Himachal area, but nowadays it is confined to one national park, which is found in Great Himalayan Nation, and this farming practice is known as carbon farming. So all three are correct. Yes. National park sanctuaries with unique fauna species. Great Himalayan National Park, it is in Himachal Pradesh, hai na? And Hangul is, by name itself, you can see it is Kashmiri snake. Earlier it was found, it is critically endangered, the first thing that you should know. Hai na? Earlier it was also found in nearby Himachal area, but nowadays it is confined to one national park, which is here in the Kashmir, that is Dachingam National Park. Dachingam National Park. So it is not found in this Great Himalayan National Park. One is incorrect. Manas National Park, pygmy hog. Yes, that is true. Pygmy hog is the smallest pig species existing on the, let's say, on this planet. It is also an indicator species. Indicator of what? Indicator of grasslands health. Hai na? Grasslands health, and it is found only in this area of Manas National Park. That is true. Hai na? Second is true. Bhitarkanika Wildlife Sanctuary, which is very famous for saltwater crocodile. It is not known for Jordan cursor. Jordan cursor, it was earlier considered as extinct species, but anyhow we found some of the Jordan cursor. It is, let's say, this is the, here it is, the Eastern Ghats of Andhra Pradesh. Hai na? It is endemic to Eastern Ghats of Andhra Pradesh region here. One wildlife sanctuary is there, that is Sri Lanka Maleshwar. Hai na? So in this wildlife sanctuary of Andhra Pradesh, they are found. So Bhitarkanika is not correct. The only correct answer here it is Manas National Park. That is one option is correct. That is second. Next is Global Energy Alliance for People and Planet. Consider the following statement. It was established during the COP28. It is wrong. It was established in case of COP26. First statement is not true. So you can eliminate. We are left with the answer of 2 and 3. Now what you can learn from here. What is the aim of this GEAPP? It is nothing but country-led initiative. It is not under UNFCCC. However, it was launched on the sidelines of UNFCCC COP26, but it is not under UNFCCC. Now the aim is to provide the clean energy at least to 1 billion population, also to generate the jobs. Green jobs will be generated. And in this, they are also aligning with International Solar Alliance, that is headquartered in Gurugram. Na? So International Solar Alliance, it is nothing but dealing with the clean energy, that is the solar energy. So GEAPP will aim at providing clean energy. It is also collaborating with the International Solar Alliance, and it will also create the green jobs. So what are the options? One of the key objectives is to accelerate the renewable energy. Yes, that is true. It has recently signed this, yes, with the ISA. True. With reference to Gangetic and Irrawaddy dolphins, consider the following. Unlike the Gangetic dolphin, which are nearly blind, yes, Gangetic dolphins, also known as Susu, है ना? They are also the national aquatic animal of India. They are, let's say, almost you can say they are blind, है ना? But the Irrawaddy dolphins, which are found in this Odisha region, they are not blind, है ना? So yes, that is true. They will use the, let's say, the Gangetic dolphins will use the concept of echolocation, whereas the Irrawaddy dolphin can see the objects. They have the eyesight. Yes, it is true. Unlike the Gangetic dolphin, which can thrive in both freshwater and marine, this is not true for Gangetic dolphin. They are strictly freshwater dolphin, whereas the other one, Irrawaddy dolphin, can survive in both freshwater as well as marine. So this is not true. Okay. Both species are classified as critically endangered. No, it is not true. The one is that is, I think this is the Gangetic dolphin, which is critically endangered. The other is not. So the option is one is true. That is, one statement is only true, not the other. If I tell you the exact status of the Gangetic dolphin, wait. Gangetic dolphin is endangered. The Irrawaddy is critically endangered. Hai na? So just see here. Both species are not critically endangered. The one is, that is, the Gangetic dolphin is endangered and Irrawaddy is critically endangered. Okay. Next question. What is Baku Harmonia Climate Initiative? There was one COP which was held, COP of 29, and it was held in Baku, Azerbaijan. It was under UNFCCC. Recently, this was happened. One initiative, which is Baku Harmonia Initiative, was launched. Under this initiative, what was the aim? In this, the main aim was to make the agriculture climate smart. है ना? Climate smart agriculture. There is one more thing which happened in COP 27. Some background I'm giving you. There was one initiative, that is Food and Agricultural Sustainable Transformation Initiative, FAST initiative. Under this one also, the FAO, it was launched under Food and Agricultural Organization, in which the food systems were supposed to be in the line of 1.5 degrees C temperature limit of Paris Agreement. Means what we are saying, we were saying in this COP 27 under FAST initiative that our agricultural systems, because from agriculture also there are emissions which are released. So these emissions should not cross the limit of 1.5 degrees C that we have set under Paris Agreement. That was the aim of FAST initiative. In the same way, under UNFCCC's this Baku COP29, Baku Harmonia climate, this initiative, Baku Harmonia initiative, in this also the climate smart agriculture has been emphasized. This is nothing but it was launched under, this will be taken care of under FAST, and that is nothing but the initiative of FAO. So you can connect these dots, Hannah, so that you can memorize them better. Now see here, it has been launched in the COP29. It is, yes, it is true. Second is, it focuses on empowering women and youth farmers. Yes, that is also true. Okay. Climate resilient villages. It has set a target of creating additional greenhouse gas sink. No, it's not true. Rather, it is INDC of India. Okay. It's not true. It aims to catalyze investment in agri-food transformation. That is also true. So what is, we are supposed to identify incorrect one. Na? So what is the incorrect one? C is the incorrect. D is also correct. Hai na? Answer is C. Next is, consider the following statement. Is the also true. So what is, we are supposed to identify incorrect one. Na? So what is the incorrect one? C is the incorrect. D is also correct. Hai na? Answer is C. D is also correct. Hai na? Answer is C. Next is, consider the following statement. How many of the following substances can be used effectively for the treatment of soil acidification? So let's say if you want to treat the acid, then you will have to come up with basic element. In the first statement itself, it is given basic slag. It will be used. Answer is yes. Flue dust from the cement plant. It will also be used because in the cement plants, let's say in the flue gases, you will find lime content. Lime is known for its basic properties. So you can treat this acidic content with the second option also. Ammonium sulfate based fertilizers. Fertilizers are not useful. They will increase the acidity. So third, you can eliminate. Decomposed organic matter from animal remains. Decomposition will be because of some acid which is released by some organism. So that will increase the acid content. It will not be used. Pressed mud for the sugar from the sugarcane. Yes, pressed mud is rich in case of organic matter as well as CaCO3. So this will be used in the treatment. So 1, 2, and 5 are correct. How many options should be there? B. 3 options are correct. Mud is rich in case of organic matter as well as CaCO3. So this will be used in the treatment. So 1, 2, and 5 are correct. How many options should be there? B. 3 options are correct. India's 3 options are correct. and 5 are correct. How many options should be there? B. 3 options are correct. India's State of Forest Report, which was recently released in 2023. Every 2 years, this report is released. है ना? The first statement says what we are supposed to identify. Correct statement. The first statement says the total forest and tree cover of the country is 33%. No, it's not 33%. It is around now 25%. है ना? So this is incorrect. The maximum increase in the forest and tree cover compared to the last assessment is in Madhya Pradesh. No, maximum decline has been registered in the Madhya Pradesh, whereas maximum increase of the forest cover has been registered in Chhattisgarh. Okay, so second is incorrect. The total mangrove cover of the country is around 3% of the land area. It is not 3%. It is somewhere around 0.15%. So only last option we are left with. India's total forest and tree cover carbon sink has, let's say, the value of 30 billion tons. This is also true. According to this report also, you may be familiar. Answer we have reached. This is the D. According to, let's say, this IFSR survey, that is Indian State of Forest Report survey. See here now. According to this survey, we have promised in Paris INDC that India will create the sink of 2.5 to 3 billion ton capacity. Means we will absorb the carbon. Means we will create nothing but the forest resources so that we can absorb the carbon of this much of the capacity. Under Paris, we promised. And according to this survey, India since 2005 till 2023 has reached somewhere the additional capacity of 2.29 billion tons. Means we are already, let's say, very close to close this target. Okay, so that additional information also you can remember. With reference to biodiversity of India, consider the following animal species. How many of the animal species are nocturnal? So this is nowadays the trend has been set by the UPSC, where some of the species they are asking whether, let's say, what type of behavior of that species is. So here you can see headgay hog, it is nocturnal. Yes, it is true. Lion-tailed macaque is actually diurnal, means it can come both in day and as well as in night. Red panda, mostly it is nocturnal. Malabar civet is also nocturnal. This is also nocturnal. So the answer is generally nocturnal. So generally nocturnal means this is nocturnal, and this is nocturnal, this is nocturnal. 3. So answer is 3. Lion-tailed macaque, it is diurnal. Consider the following tree species. See here, they are asking about evergreen forest. Any is the evergreen, rosewood is the evergreen, babool is the deciduous forest, tropical deciduous, both in the moist and dry deciduous it can be found. Sorry, not babool, mahua. Mahua is tropical deciduous, moist or dry deciduous it can be. Babool is rather a thorn forest, found mostly in the semi-arid and arid areas. So how many species are there? Tropical forest, any and rosewood. Bisphenol A, so a thorn forest, found mostly in the semi-arid and arid areas. So how many species are there? Tropical forest, any and rosewood. Tropical forest, any and rosewood. There, tropical rosewood is the diurnal. Consider the following tree species. See here, they are asking about evergreen forest. Any is the evergreen, rosewood is the evergreen. Babool is the deciduous forest, tropical deciduous, both in the moist and dry deciduous it can be found. Sorry, not babool, mahua, semi-arid and arid area. Bisphenol A, last year there was a question about PFA. PFA was nothing but a permanent or we can say forever chemical. In the similar way, the BPA is very infamous. This is most of the time it is used in the bottles of the water for the packaging of this lid of the bottle, right? So whenever you are using the plastic bottles for the water, be careful because bisphenol A is used in the same. This is highly carcinogenic. Okay, so it is used in the production of polycarbonate plastic bottles. Yes, it is used in the thermal coating of thermal papers. Acha, one more thing you may have seen, the print when they are given from, let's say, smaller machine, the ATM machines, the print slip that is known as thermal paper, and in this thermal paper also this BPA is used. So that is also true. Okay, one is true, second is true. It is considered an endocrine disruptor and can disrupt the normal hormone. Yes, it is highly carcinogenic, can disrupt the functioning of the body. So all 1, 2, 3 are correct. Bisphenol A is highly in use. Consider the following species. I think this is very simple. It is food chain. Grasshopper will be eaten by frog. Frog will be eaten by snake. Snake will be eaten by eagle. So the sequence is 1, 2, 4, 3. What should be the answer? 1, 2, 4, 3. So 1, 2, 4, 3. C is the answer. Consider the following. Which of them are edible oils? See, except castor seed oil, all of the examples are edible seed oils. This is the example. All are the example. This is not the edible oil. So answer is 3 are the edible oils. NGT, all are the example. This is not the edible oil. So answer is 3 are the edible oils. NGT has recently instructed the Kerala government to remove hazardous waste that was illegally dumped in Tamil Nadu. Yes, that is true. Recently, it was directed by NGT that Kerala should remove that hazardous waste from the Tamil Nadu. NGT can provide relief and compensation. That is true. It can provide relief and compensation, but not under Wildlife Protection Act. Some other acts are there. For example, Environment Protection Act, Air Act, Water Act. These are the act, but not under Wildlife Protection Act. This is not true. NGT can provide relief and compensation for environmental damage. This is true under EPA Act. Yes, that is true. So second is not true. 1 and 3, they are correct. So what should be the answer? Only one of these statements, second and third, is correct. Yes, that is true. That explains the statement 1. Fine. The last one is, not last one, I think we have some more questions. No, last one. The last question is, consider the following examples of the Ramsar list. Ramsar sites are always important, and India has now 89 sites till date. Khaju Valley Bird Life Sanctuary, this is in Tamil Nadu, okay, not in Kerala. Nanjuran also, it is in Tamil Nadu. Highest number of sites are now in the Tamil Nadu. Tawa Reservoir, Tawa Plateau is in MP. So it is not in Uttar Pradesh, it is in MP. Magadi Kere Conservation Reserve, it was declared recently in Karnataka. So this is true. Okay. So how many are correctly matched? 1 only, the fourth one. So answer is 1. So with this, we are ending our discussion here. And with the Ramsar list, please be prepared, especially those wetlands which has been declared very recently on 2nd February 2025, as well as those which were declared in 2024 and 2023. They also become important for your examination, right? So we are ending here. Thank you very much.
Well this evening. I hope you're doing well today. So today we are going to discuss certain questions with regards to history and art and culture, with reference to the kind of questions that were asked in Simulator 0. A general assessment that can actually be made with respect to the questions that were asked in the paper is that, yes, number one, the questions were largely aligned with the broader ambit of the kind of questions that are asked in the preliminary examination, CSE preliminary examination. Also, it is very important to understand here that the level of the questions has largely been moderate in nature. Okay, so let us see the kind of questions that are there. So yes, the first question is with respect to the following pairs of literary works, which of these are attributed to playwright Shudrak? So Shudrak, a very, very important playwright from ancient Indian history. So first you have Mritchkatikam and then Swapnavasav Dattam.